slightly help. All right, here we go. Well, it's official. The inauguration is over. Here's what Donald Trump just said he's going to do. And I'll tell you, there are some things in here that were a surprise. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I want to start with the actions, the juice of this, which is also the inspiration of the coupon that we've got for the Trumponomics course at meetkevin.com, because it's all going to be based on actions, what we can do to make more money. But here's what Trump talks about. First, national emergency at the southern border. This was not a surprise, though it came with a standing ovation. The big thing is, hey, we're going to rebuild that southern border wall, or we're going to finish building it. A lot of portions of the southern border do already have a wall or some form of fencing, right? But Donald Trump wants to finish building his wall, the taller, stronger wall. Although, of course, there are always videos of people trying to cut holes and slits in it. Donald Trump makes it clear that this is going to be more than just a national emergency at the southern border for rebuilding that border wall. He's also expecting to send troops to the southern border. Now, some people are wondering, does he mean National Guard on the U.S. side? Is he going to deploy the military on the U.S. side? Or is he going to pull like a North Korea, South Korea, where he deploys the U.S. military on the Mexico side to actually seal that border? Either of those are possible. You could have National Guard on one side, you could have the military on the other side. You could just have both on either side under a national emergency. Theoretically, he could pull whatever he wants. So obviously that'll get, there'll be lawsuits and people will be really concerned about, and trust me, things like Doge are going to get sued within the next 24 hours. There's a whole, there's a whole like circuit of lawyers in DC and even in states where they just go around and they basically just sue the sitting president, the sitting governors, lawsuits all day long to try to fight for whatever agendas that they want. All right, so now he's going to reinstate remain in Mexico. We were expecting that. End catch and release. We were expecting that. We weren't expecting troops to the southern border, so that's interesting. He also says he's going to designate cartels in Mexico as foreign terrorists. Now, that was not expected, but it does sort of unleash more power for Donald Trump, again, to deploy those troops. So potentially, because he's saying there are terrorists on the border, he could then legally justify moving more money to that southern border. So that's probably why he's doing that. Now, what I also thought was interesting was the invocation of the Alien Enemies Act. And this is using, quote, federal and state law enforcement agencies to eliminate gangs and criminal networks in the United States, including in our own cities. Okay, there is a huge backlash from the left over this because people on the left think that Donald Trump is going to deploy the military in all of our cities and that then there are going to be wars and like gangs are going to shoot the military and people are going to die and all this stuff. Then you have other people who are like, bro, anybody who fights the military deserves to get shot. And if we need to deploy the military to clean up our cities, then do it. So you kind of have this like duality of opinions here. I was a big fan when I ran for governor in California of the mindset of, look, people are dying on our streets. We need to declare a national emergency, deploy the National Guard, and make sure that nobody's dying on our streets anymore. Homeless, drugs, crimes, gangs. People don't feel safe in California, especially. So I'm actually a big fan of this, and I'm just throwing in my opinion here. I want to be clear. I personally think that's a good thing, but I do also want to acknowledge that there is another side where people are wondering, like, oh my gosh, are we going to have like, is this going to be like a fascist regime that's going to like take control of every street corner, like World War II, Poland or something, where you've got a German Nazi soldier at every intersection? I don't think so, but I recognize that that there are those fears. In terms of inflation, he says he's going to fight to bring prices down and issue emergency action to bring prices down. I don't actually see how you are feasibly, you're going to wave a wand and bring prices down. The economy doesn't function that way. But he does acknowledge that inflation was caused by massive spending, which obviously he points the finger at Biden. But let's be real, some spending was obviously also conducted under Trump, and Biden added to that, given that COVID started under Trump. And we don't really expect the fiscal deficit to shrink. Although the Department of Governmental Efficiency, DOGE, did just get 50% more efficient, given that apparently Vivek is leaving DOGE. And now there's drama that On one side, you've got people saying that Vivek couldn't get along with Trump, couldn't get along with Elon Musk, that he was imposing too much of his own will onto the Trump administration. And then you've got other people on the other side saying that no, Vivek just wants to set up his run for governor. He's kind of, he's flip-flopping a little bit on wanting to do Doge, but he's going to focus on being governor. And then on the other side, people kind of look at Elon Musk and they're like, that's classic Elon. Push everybody else out of the way with a different opinion, because what it does is it just gives Elon more power. And given that Elon has more money and more capability of supporting whatever the hell Donald Trump wants, maybe that is ultimately what won out. Who knows? Now, Donald Trump did talk about revoking the EV mandate and ending the Green New Deal, which he didn't specifically say the electric vehicle mandate, or rather the tax credit would go away, but that has been previously said. It just wasn't mentioned today. It talks about bringing prices down, but let's be real, that is going to, in the meantime, increase the price of an electric vehicle. I think this is why we heard Elon Musk yesterday say that he's looking to, this was through reports. It wasn't a direct quote, but basically Elon is looking to potentially expand his partnership with China, mostly to compete with BYD, maybe manufacture lower cost vehicles for the Chinese market. And I think there seems to be this warming up of relations between China and Trump, or the United States, basically. I mean, they just had a conversation, apparently, Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, reportedly, citing the desire to work more closely together. You've got TikTok kind of trying to stroke Donald Trump, going, oh, hopefully Donald Trump will bring us back. They go offline for like 12 hours, and then they come back and they're like, thank goodness Donald Trump helped bring us back. It's like, Donald Trump wasn't even president yet. So a lot of people are looking at the whole TikTok ban and unban as really just sort of like a stroke to Elon, or to Donald Trump, and a way that TikTok in China is trying to cozy up to Donald Trump by giving Donald Trump credit for solving the problem, but then also encouraging Donald Trump to keep that credit going. It's like reverse manipulation. It's honestly kind of brilliant on the Chinese part, if you will, because now Donald Trump doesn't want to come across as the person who ends up shutting it down because he got so much credit for keeping it up, right? I mean, they literally put banners up before he was even president. So it's, again, kind of a brilliant reverse manipulation. But then again, that I don't put that past the Chinese. I think they're very, very smart people. But anyway, Donald Trump says, we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring prices down. We're going to create a national energy emergency. This was expected. We were expecting to get some kind of national emergency on basically unlocking federal land for leases to bring energy prices down. It's going to take a while for that supply to actually come to the market, but maybe we could expect the Keystone XL pipeline to be, sort of the extension portion to actually be built. Permits were issued, and then Biden nixed that right away when he took office on day one, actually. You can actually take a peek at some of the footage here in the meantime. Let's just see. It looks like this is just departing traffic here. I see various folks leaving. You've still got a lot of Trump's family over there, Ivanka Trump with the green beret, and this whole emerald outfit. Anyway, we'll have that playing just in the background here a little bit. But he talks about auto workers, a big thank you to them. Oh, you've got the presidential helicopter there, Marine One. Honestly, Trump might just hop right into the helicopter. That's crazy. And go fly to the White House. What a cool way to go to the White House, huh? You're president now. Want to drive there the 5 minutes? Nah, bro. Let's fly. That's kind of awesome. Or maybe they're taking Biden to the airport and taking him to Delaware. I don't know. It's possible Trump already left in this shot. But anyway, he talks about, he gets a standing ovation for talking about auto workers. He says we're going to tariff foreign countries to enrich our citizens. There is Trump. We're going to establish the External Revenue Service. Now, this I think is very interesting, this whole idea of the ERS, right? The External Revenue Service, I like the name. I think it's cool. I don't know what it's going to do in terms of inflation. There's been talk about gradual tariffs. There's been talk about a flat tariff for every single country, so you're not individually targeting countries. there's been a lot of talk. The details are going to be what matter here. And this is obviously where, when I say like, hey, we're going to have this Trumponomics course, it's designed to get into the nitty gritty of like, okay, how can we actually adjust what we're doing? Like, for example, are we still doing 1031 exchanges in real estate? Are REITs more interesting or less interesting? What kind of tax deductions can we take as an entrepreneur? For the what 390, I think it might be like $429 or whatever it is, that you spend for the Trumponomics course. I think it's the cheapest investment you can make. Go check it out at meetkevin.com. Lifetime access to the course member live streams too. So that means even in 5 years, if you want to pop into the live stream and be like, yo, Kevin, what do you think about this? You could do that. People still do that who bought my courses back in 2019. So like, I've been here and I ain't going anywhere. I'm with you. Okay, so with that.
To the moon.
Right. Okay, so it looks like Biden's going in the helicopter, probably because he's taking the helicopter to the airport, and then he's going to fly to Delaware. That's my expectation. So anyway, Donald Trump says he's going to establish Doge. He's going to end the weaponization of the justice system, restore fair, equal, and impartial justice. Now, keep in mind, Donald Trump has warned that he would go after the justices and the people who went after him. So it's sort of implied that there was going to be sort of this shift of like, punishing those who were trying to punish him, which kind of implies just like flipping the weaponization of justice. But right now he is talking about bringing equality justice, which sounds good. And just in case Joe Biden did just pardon some of his extra family members, obviously he pardoned Hunter Biden. But just this morning, right as they all sat down for the inauguration, the 60th inauguration, by the way, James Biden, Sarah Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, and Francis Biden were pardoned. Keep in mind, one of the reasons they say it's the 60th inauguration, even though technically we're on President 47, is because if a president serves 2 terms, they get 2 inaugurations, but they don't necessarily get a new number. The only time you get a new number is if you're like Trump, where it's 45 and 47. If Trump won in 2020, he would have just been Trump or President 45, right? He wouldn't have gotten 45 and 46. The next president after would have gotten 46. So that's why there's 60. I know there were some people that are like, how are there 60? I get curious about stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, well, here's why. So I thought some people might as well. He says we're going to bring order back to our cities. This is at a separate part in his speech, so I think there's really this reiteration about deploying potentially the military or National Guard just to clean up cities. Hey man, I hope he starts with San Francisco. Gavin Newsom doesn't know what he's doing. There goes Biden. Anyway, he says we're going to have a colorblind, merit-based society. We're going to end social engineering, race, gender, and every aspect of public life. We're going to have an official policy of 2 genders, male and female. Now, I have to say, I never in my life, okay, and I'm 32. I'm turning 33 soon. I never in my life thought that I would hear a president of the United States say, we are going to create a national policy mandating that there are only 2 genders. I'm like, dude, I hate to be that person, but how should I put this? I thought it was obvious. You're either born with a thing-a-lingle or you're not. Okay, that was just my opinion on that. I don't know. Maybe other people have a different opinion on that, but you know what I have to say to that.
Nice PP.
Anyway, he says he's going to reinstate any service member that was cut due to not taking a COVID vaccine with full back pay. That sounds wild because that could be going back 3 years, maybe even more. That's wild. He says we're going to rebuild the strongest military, end wars, and most importantly, prevent wars. That was probably one of the strongest things of Donald Trump's first term, and you got to give him credit for it, is there were no new wars started under Trump. But that was not true for Bush, Obama, and Biden, where new wars were started. He did talk about renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, getting more control of the Panama Canal. He says we'll get to Mars. I think that was just a shout out to Elon. That was a lot in terms of the action. He did also say we have a crisis of trust, catastrophes abroad and at home, like North Carolina, defenselessness in Los Angeles because of the fires, the importation of illegals, criminals, and mentally ill. He's going to stop that. Really wants to seal that border. I think that was a big moment there. He talks about he was saved to make America great again by God. He calls today Liberation Day. He wants to bring back common sense. And I think the biggest thing that we really heard here that was new. Well, first of all, a lack of Bitcoin mentions, right? A total lack of crypto. And I think there was a little bit of a sell down in some Bitcoin and crypto, related assets because of that. Bitcoin's 103 right now. So yeah, you had a little bit of a sell down from the beginning of the inauguration where we were at, 108 to about 105. So a little bit down, big deal. The Trump tokens at $41. It did fall to $35, but I guess I could always come back up. That one's a wild story, but really topic for a different video. But no mention there, specific mention of crypto policy. I think some people were hoping for that. Biggest thing here, though, just the national emergencies. And let's see what executive orders roll out over the next few days. What I encourage you to do, if you have not yet, is subscribe to the channel. Let's go through this journey together. I will be covering a lot of news, ideally every single day via my Meet Kevin report here on the channel. And then, of course, we're going to go into even more detail in the Trumponomics course and the course member live streams we do for all of our course members. So make sure you're part of that.
Subscribe to Meet Kevin.
That's right. What else do we have?
Coupon code expiring soon. Coupon linked below.
It's at meetkevin.com. Anyway, so there you have it. Thank you so much for being here with me for the inauguration morning. It's great to be back. The studio is finally coming together, and I'm very, very happy about that. So I'm excited to share more with you all. So we'll see you, folks. We've even got buttons. Look at that. Now in the chat we got buttons. Subscribe to Meet Kevin if you have big PP. Get life insurance in as little as 5 minutes. Paid affiliate. metkevin.com/live. Look at that. I can just push a button and it comes up in the chat. Oh, that's really nice. Get lifetime access to Kevin's private live streams and trade alerts at meetkevin.com. Most popular courses now: Trumponomics, Zero to Millionaire Real Estate, obviously stocks and psych as well, but those are the current ones. See coupon at meetkevin.com. Very cool. So anyway, yeah. How do we want to end this one out? How about this one? All right, folks, we'll be back soon. Thank you so much for being here. Goodbye and good luck.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.